Well, if it weren't already, Hamas certainly became a household name after October 7th, 2023. That's when this organization launched an unprecedented infiltration into and attack on Israel by land, air, and sea, breaking through the barrier, killing 1,400 people, and kidnapping 240 back into Gaza. Yeah, this made world headlines for sure. In this massive operation, up to 3,000 Palestinians crossed into Israel and committed atrocities that earned Hamas a comparison to ISIS. Hamas is ISIS. ISIS Hamas has become a hashtag. So, who exactly is Hamas? Is it a terrorist organization, as Israel, the US, and a lot of Western nations say? Or are they freedom fighters, as many Palestinians and other Arabs say? So Hamas is strictly a Palestinian organization. It was founded in 1987 as an offshoot of the Muslim Brotherhood, which is a political movement that was founded in Egypt. Hamas is Sunni Muslim, unlike its allies, Iran, the Houthis, and Hezbollah, who are all involved in this present conflict, and they are all Shia Muslim. Hamas's founding mission is to create a Palestinian Islamic State through jihad, which is holy war. Doing so obviously leaves no room for Israel in the geographic boundaries that we're talking about. At its founding, Hamas was not open to any negotiations, but today, Hamas does participate in politics and in the political process. So you see both the idealism of some Hamas adherents, but you also see a pragmatic approach among others today. However, when they infiltrated into Israel on October 7th, it became clear that Hamas was resorting yet again to the concept of armed resistance. And so far, there's been zero room for negotiation in this. Hamas is an acronym for the Islamic Resistance Movement. Its slogan is Allah is its goal, the Prophet its model, the Quran its constitution, jihad its path, and death for the case of Allah its most sublime belief. Its charter states that, quote, peaceful solutions are contrary to its beliefs. Quote, the movement educates its members to adhere to its principles and to raise the banner of Allah over their homelands as they fight their jihad. And the original charter states there is no solution to the Palestinian problem except by jihad. It calls any other initiative a waste of time, an exercise in futility. According to the CIA World Factbook, the military wing of Hamas, the Qassam Brigades, has upwards of 25,000 members. But some analysts today estimate 40,000 armed members. Hamas also is known for its highly sophisticated tunnel network that runs the length and width of the Gaza Strip. Their weapons include IEDs, rocket launchers, anti-tank missiles, and mortars. So here's a question. Did the Israeli withdrawal both of the military and settlers in the Gaza Strip back in 2005, is that what enabled Hamas to build up its military wing? Since that time, Hamas began launching rockets into Israel. In 2021, during an 11-day war, they launched 4,500 rockets into Israel. So just in this present conflict, in a 1-month period, they launched 10,000 rockets. Where does Hamas get its backing? Well, to be clear, the current Hamas leadership doesn't even live in Gaza. The organization's political leader is Ismail Haniyeh, who is based in Doha, Qatar. According to Israel, Iran spends $100 million annually on Hamas. A German newspaper reported that the terrorist organization doesn't bring its money into Gaza, where, by the way, unemployment is running up to 50%. The paper said that Hamas has a $700 million empire. Yet since Hamas took over the Gaza Strip, the living conditions there have deteriorated. Now, many Palestinians will blame that on Israel, controls the borders of the Gaza Strip, and they won't blame it on Hamas. However, there are international backers for the Gaza Strip, like, for instance, the United Nations, which has run schools and refugee camps, and Qatar, the nation of Qatar, brings actually suitcases of money in order to give to the residents there. So here's something you need to know about Palestinian politics. If you look at the map, the West Bank and the Gaza Strip are disconnected geographically, but they are also disconnected politically. In 2006, Hamas won the last Palestinian election. And then after that, after a deadly struggle in the Gaza Strip, Hamas took over the Gaza Strip, killing or kicking out any members of Fatah, which is their rival political party, which is the political party that's running the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank. Since then, there have been no elections in either the Gaza Strip or the West Bank. So how did a terror group win an election in the first place? Well, at the time, Hamas positioned itself as the answer to the Palestinian cause for freedom and portrayed the Palestinian Authority as ineffective. They also invested very heavily into social welfare programs and won the support, especially of the Gazans that they were reaching out to. But this political and geographic disconnection has enabled Israel to really drive a wedge between the two Palestinian territories. Since the Hamas takeover, Israel has imposed a blockade on the enclave there, making it effectively an open-air prison. Israel controls who and what gets in and out of Gaza. Gaza is about the size of the length of a full marathon, 26 miles, and is comprised of more than 2 million people. Hamas had been losing popularity in Gaza recently, but my question is, will they regain it after these attacks on October 7th? I've heard some Palestinians say that Hamas proved itself during this fight as the true freedom fighters for the Palestinian cause. Then again, Hamas also invoked the wrath of the Israeli military, which has expectedly been pounding Gaza, bombing Gaza relentlessly since then. They're killing, they claim to have killed many members of Hamas, but they've killed thousands of civilians as well. So now we're actually hearing some Palestinians blaming Hamas for getting them into this situation. So what happens now? Will Hamas be completely destroyed, as is the stated goal of Israel for this military campaign? Is Hamas going to remain in power somehow in Gaza? If Hamas is driven out, is Israel going to take over? Is the Palestinian Authority going to be brought in to take over? Is an international body going to be formed to take charge of the Gaza Strip? Are the Palestinians going to be displaced into another country, like Egypt, for instance? These are all options that people are talking about and not all agreeing on. I have zero inkling of where this is going to go. I'll definitely be watching to see how this plays out and who is for what option and how they're going to enforce it. It seems like a quagmire and a situation that is impossible to resolve. But I will say that until there's resolution on the hostages that were taken from Israel, we're probably not going to see an end to this conflict anytime soon. Again, thank you for watching. If you found this video interesting, you can hit like, you can hit subscribe, and check back for more.